let's change this. Let's change this. Why you should change this? So I'll give you one example for it. So development team has planned to introduce one feature in the market. Okay, so they design that feature, they develop that feature, they test the feature, their acceptance testing is also done. So now everything is ready for the development team, and for this they spend 1 month of time. Now when they bring these changes to the operations team, then operations team says, hey, this changes okay, but we don't have infrastructure, we don't have a capacity, we don't have a human resources for maintain this, you don't have this, you don't have that, so I will get it done. Do not to worry, but give me 1 more month for this. I will not immediately accept this. Why? Because they are not aware of that product, how to support, how to troubleshoot, how to run it, capacity planning, this, that, lots of things are there, right? For environment setup and all. So operations team decline this work for immediate release. They say we will do the release, but not now, we'll do after 1 month. So this is what happens in the typical traditional software development cycle. Are you agreeing with me, all of you?
Yes, Rajesh. 100%.
So now that is where Google is coming and saying, hey, let's do one thing. Let's ask the development team and SRE team to work together. See here, there's a very tiny difference between SRE and operations. Look at this here. This is the ops team, and then this is SRE team. So what is the difference? So what Google is saying, suggesting, hey, do one thing. When you start new development activities, design activities, involve SRE team. Means ops team involve ops team. During the development also, whatever the runtime environment, operating system, configurations, all this runtime environment, whatever you have, involve ops team. During the testing process also involve ops team. And during the delivery also, anyways, you are involving. And same time, ops team is being instructed during the support also involve development team. During the capacity planning also involve development team. So that way integration is happening. So suddenly remember that when the development team is reaching to the acceptance testing and trying to deliver the product, by the time SRE team is saying, oh, we already know all this thing, we had pre-planned already all this work, so now I can do the immediate release, we don't have to wait for 1 month. So it's very simple difference. In SRE team, ops team will remain ops team, but with new mindset. Development team will remain development team with a but new mindset. What is the mindset? So in as part of the SRE process, SRE team should work during the design, development, acceptance testing with the development team, and development team should also work with the during the support and capacity planning with SRE team. So that ops team will become SRE the moment you start working together. Are you understanding, all of you, or no?
Rajesh, I think I'm a little confused here because the whole point of like the DevOps was the same as well, right? So how is this SRE?
No. Here still remember that here it's still two team. They are working together. That means they are sharing the resources, knowledge. They're still two team, two practices, two culture, two mindset, two objective, two different objective. But they are sharing in a more closer way. That's all. In a DevOps, there is only one team actually.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
This team will be separate, but when the development will design something, will share that knowledge with SRE team. When the development team will develop something, the runtime environment, languages, all other details, they'll share with SRE team at initial stage only. I'm not saying SRE team will do that. No, SRE team will not do that. Only be a part of that transition. Are you understanding?
And how
Yes.
does this involvement happen? Through some
Through the
meetings?
through meetings, through document sharing, development. See, earlier what is happening? Ops team, development team will say, hey, can you give me a little bit of knowledge on the ops team? ops architecture, how you are running, I would like to work with you and see that. Operation team will say, no, it's not allowed. As per the practice, is not allowed. But when you are SRE team, then when development team asks some information from SRE team, they would love to share. That's the mindset changes, no? Again.
I
Getting
think
to
your figures are like more informative, Rajesh. I
yeah,
think I got my answer here. Thank you.
yeah.
So the SRE
Okay.
team is more involved right from the beginning, and there is overlap of the skills which helps to deliver it quickly, and there are no gaps when it comes to delivery.
That's correct.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so this is the
And
SRE team.
Rajesh, I have one more thing to ask here. Like in the DevOps description that we went through, can this be like answered as like a lean strategy? Like, because the concepts that ultimately fall into this cycle are all lean, like, no wastage,
Actually,
over processing.
yeah, actually, DevOps is derived from the lean processes only. So
Okay.
DevOps is become very popular because of in software, and lean is been used in the manufacturing industry. So
Mm-hmm.
same pipeline concept, this initially introduced in the manufacturing industry. That means you manufacture the goods at a very high speed in the pipeline. So that same concept has been applied through the DevOps in the software organization.
Okay. Thank you.
So, but one thing, SRE, we have many other stuff also to understand. So, see here, there's a this pictures will help you a little bit later better. So here you see, let me show you. This is the ops team. This is the SRE team, which I shown you, and this is a DevOps team. Everything. There's one team for everything. So all the phases, all the processes, all the tools, all the practices, and all the skill sets are integrated with each other and managed by one team. And you are doing what exactly? You have to decide. It depends on the project. Make
So
sense?
you would have, Rajesh, quick question. So you would have team members who would do different roles. For example, they might be for a week doing just support and then move on to doing operations. Do they work like that? So to manage
Huh, but
both
still
working
you are under one
under
team
one team.
because maybe you are doing the support, but you have a very good knowledge on the development process. Why? Because you are both are working in the same team. I mean, all of you are working the same team under the same umbrella. So there's no so if something is coming to you, you cannot say, hey, this is not my work, because it's your team's work actually.
Right. Because I was thinking, like, maybe someone is working on a project, and then the shift or whatever you want to call, he moves on to support for that week. Does the development start or the project would stop at that point until he comes back onto the project, or how does that work?
Basically what happens,
Sorry, my
whatever
question
the
is it clear? What am
yeah,
Was
yeah,
it
I
clear
understood
what I was
that.
trying to say? Okay, good.
Yeah. So basically, see, there's no as such, uh, which is, you can say, principles which is shared by DevOps, because this is at the high level. Now, on the practical sides of it, let's say some of you are working on the support. She or he is working only on support, that means it's not a DevOps. If she or she is working as part of the support, then it's a DevOps. What I'm trying to say here, let's say sometime he or she is working for support, but next month or so, he will work on the little bit of automation work, automating the support work, maybe writing a run books or as that deployment code or something like that. Code for the deployment, code for the monitoring, code for the security. So it's not like that monolithic work actually. Because what happens, sharing the resources, sharing the skill set is important in the DevOps. But if you are having each and every one is having the linear skill set, then that's not a DevOps again. Correct now? You should be having the overlapping skill set. Correct?
Yeah, thanks.
And responsibilities also. Okay.
One question here, like knowledge will be shared from the beginning, right, with the SRE team. So, like, what kind of knowledge will it be? Like, will they be able to tell like what versions of software should be used? What are the baselines and all?
Yes, this is called knowledge sharing, sharing everything. So you should let's say you are doing a planning, so you should invite them. After that, you should share the complete details of that. They will start preparing. They may ask some question, you have to answer that. That's called integration. It's not like suddenly you are popping one day and saying, hey, we want to deploy this software. It's not like that. So there should not be any blue scenarios for operations. So by the time you reach to them saying that we need to deploy in the production, they should be knowing everything about their product, functionality, issues, runtime infrastructure, monitoring detail, security loopholes, and everything.
So is this a SRE first developed or practiced at by Google?
Yes, they only said they practiced in their own ops team, and they found out lots of benefit has come because of that, and the same thing they shared to the whole world, and now we all are learning SRE.
Okay, so now
Okay.
can we say like going forward, like this might be something that the organizations might try, same like DevOps, since that's starting to not go anywhere because of the acceptance.
Yes, so that's the reason. If you look at this from last 2 years, I would not say 2 years, 1 year. From last 1 year, see, I'll tell you my experience. I've been doing this corporate session from last 6 years, and from last 2016 to 2020, I used to get a lot of DevOps training requirement. Look at the trend. Now, if you look at this from last 1 year, I'm getting hardly one training in a month or 2 months. So, what other training you are getting? So, you are getting SRE training. So now most of the organization they want to implement the SRE, practice the SRE for a few years, and then probably migrate to DevOps. So something like the strategy has changed because of Google, this case studies. Understood? So this year I see that lots of popularity in the SRE. So again, you have to decide: are you towards the operation side or you are towards the development side? Okay, and then if you are towards the development side, then go for DevOps and MD and something like that, or DevSecOps. If you are towards the always time operation side, then go for SRE, DevOps plus all the extra tools which I'll teach you. Understood, all of you? Okay, so now SRE, lots of things again to discuss actually. It's not only one slide which I showed you, just to help you to visualize how you can start implementing the SRE. But SRE, we have a lots of tenants actually. That means the responsibility of SRE to eliminating toil, managing the SLAs, SLOs, and all stuff like that, SLIs, and the failures. And for that also, there's so many tools are there. So if you look at these tools, which I suggested you and introduced in the morning session, these all tools which will help you, and these tools will help you to manage these ones. So in the SRE sessions, when we get started after the DevOps, we'll introduce in the detail. Now, next is DevSecOps. So what is a DevSecOps? So I want to show you only one slide about the DevSecOps. Only one slide that will help you to understand DevSecOps effectively. So DevOps, I assume you understood very well. Okay. So after that, understanding the DevSecOps is also very easy. So let's say what has happened. Many organization has successfully implemented the DevOps. Yes, that's true. Many organization, most of this organization is from the startup world. Okay, those who started the SDLC cycle at the initial stage, that means from last 2-3 years only. So because the engineers they had a from the fresher community, or that the people who can change the mindset. It's not like people working with the legacy product, they have no idea about that what is going on in the other part of the world, something like that. So most of the startup, based on my experience, what I'm commenting, I have many of the startup have successfully executed the DevOps operation. Then they started asking what to do more, what to do more. Let's say talk about Uber, let's talk about the Ola, let's talk about the Paytm, Zomato, all this organization I'm talking about. So they, many of these organizations, they have implemented the DevOps successfully, not at a organization level, but project level, they have successfully done it. So then now they are demanding what should I do next now, and that is where the DevSecOps model become popular. So what is the DevSecOps model? So look at this. This is the DevOps model. This is the one. So here, one team will do the planning, coding, building, testing, releasing, deploying, operation, and monitoring. But what about security? So for this implementing the security, it was a separate team. But now in a DevOps, what we are saying, hey, let's do one thing. Let's merge the security at each page of the SDLC cycle into the DevOps. That means what security practices you may do at a planning level, define the threat model and coding standard. What security implementation you will do at the coding level, static code analysis, build vulnerability scanning, SAST, DAST, whatever you got, what do you call it, penetration testing, compliance validation, code signing validation, monitoring security issues, detecting security issues, responding security issues, and recovery process, and all this thing you can implement after the DevOps. Once you complete the DevOps, then you can implement the security things. And that is where, if you see that, this one which I designed for security, where is that? Somewhere. I think I deleted something. So okay, no problem. So security tools, the one which I showed you, I deleted something. Okay, so if you might have noticed that, look at the agenda. So that one, you can see that. So now in the, I'll teach you first of all, in this first I'll teach you DevOps, all the tools, all the techniques, and then I'll teach you few practices in the threat modeling, then few practices for the coding standard, then static analysis tool, vulnerability scanning tool, penetration tool, compliance tool, code signing tools, and all other stuff. Okay, so that means what is the DevSecOps? So doing a DevOps and implementing the security practices at the each phase of DevOps is called DevSecOps. Make sense? All of you?
Yeah, makes sense.
So now guys, DevSecOps is also many things to be discussed. I'm not discussing in this session. We have a separate session for it. When we start the DevSecOps batch, maybe after 2 months for you guys, then we'll have a detailed discussion about each and every practices. What are the threat modeling? What are the coding standard? What are the tools, static code analysis, and everything we'll discuss in that session itself. So guys, this is a DevOps plus DevSecOps plus SRE. So overall, I must tell you with my experience, no matter what you do, first of all, you cannot decide now whether you want to become a DevOps or SRE or DevSecOps or what exactly, because most of the time what I have experienced, you've been hired for something, depends on the requirement, you may ask for something else. So learn, try to set your mindset, try to learn at least everything, and then based on your experience, based on your exposure, you will get a deep dive into the specific technology with you know all this over the period of time. Okay, any questions now?
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.